One, I think we have to scour the federal government for waste and inefficiencies. And I can tell you, being a congressional aide down there, there was so much waste. We researched a program on foreign aid, $5 million small business program, $5 million going to small business help in El Salvador.
Right.
$3 million was going to consultants and contractors, $2 million to poor people. What's wrong with that equation? If I'm going to tell the American taxpayer we're going to do foreign aid, which I know that's very controversial when we have the problems here, don't you think the money should at least be going to poor people? And that's something that's really outrageous. Reagan had an approach during his administration that I think we need to try to model. It was called the Grace Commission. Business leaders and experts were brought in. They scoured the federal government for waste and inefficiencies, and they found that 1/3 of federal spending was wasteful and inefficient.
Sounds about right.
Think about it today. 1/3 of $4 trillion in spending would be over $1 trillion in waste that we could identify if we followed that model. Second, I think we need to consolidate, eliminate, and merge federal agencies. Look at some of the agencies we have out there. The Department of Agriculture, for example. We have a lot of small farmers up here in New York State. Not a lot of them are benefiting from the Department of Agriculture. It's a lot of the corporate guys out west who are getting those big subsidies.
Right.
Agriculture is spending almost $100 billion a year. They have, by some estimates, more employees than we have farmers. What's wrong with that equation right now? Let's just take agriculture or any agency right now. You've got your secretary, but you also have undersecretaries, assistant secretaries, deputy assistant secretaries. They all have chiefs of staff. They all have secretaries and office staff. Here, there's just layers and layers of bureaucracy.
Assistant. And I want to get this clear for people who don't know D.C. or aren't familiar with politics. The deputy assistant
secretary
to the secretary.
Yeah, they call it a DASK.
Okay, the DASK is somewhere around the fifth
level down. Yeah.
Fifth level, not even fifth person, fifth level of government structure down, and he gets a secretary.
Marquee job, sure. I mean, it's just unbelievable when you look at the levels of bureaucracy. What our plan calls for, and we're calling it a bold plan for America: scour for waste, consolidate, eliminate, and merge. We would take agriculture, energy, and interior, those three agencies, and we'd merge them into one agency of land and resources. We do similar things with other agencies, and I think by doing that we can cut levels and levels of bureaucracy. And you know, on the one hand, I don't want to see individuals lose their job, but the federal government's got to shape up here. Businesses have had to cut back. Individual Americans have had to cut back. We're still footing the bill down there. Washington's gotten too large. Third area, I think, in spending. Can we just roll back the current spending spree? I know there's a lot of debate about the stimulus. Did it create jobs? Didn't it? Certainly not helping us create as many jobs as we had hoped. But you've got the issue where we had budget increases as well when that stimulus went up. Commerce went up by 40%. Agriculture went up by 20%. Why, when Americans are cutting back, are these agencies getting more money down in Washington here? And most of the jobs are down in Washington.
Right.
I think we need to roll back our current spending spree. If we can even get back to 2008 levels, think about those three things I proposed: scour for waste, consolidate and eliminate agencies, and then roll back the current spending spree. That's billions and billions of dollars. We might even be able to get up over $1 trillion. Some of that's going to close our deficit, but I think we need to bring a lot of that back here for tax relief. For businesses, individuals, small businesses especially, that's going to create jobs and get our economy going. 80% of jobs that are created are small businesses. The key is really cutting waste. Can we get some tax relief here? You might remember a gentleman named Jack Kemp, congressman. He was a Buffalo Bills football star.
Yeah.
He was a bit of a mentor for mine, and he was just a firm believer in the entrepreneurial spirit. Whether it was upstate New York, or he'd take his message to the inner city, and he said what the inner city needs is more small business development and entrepreneurship. He took his message internationally to poor countries, and he said these are the principles that are going to create wealth. I remember meeting with him about a year before he died, and he started yelling at me across the table.
Really?
He said, "Stop penalizing entrepreneurship and hard work." And I felt like saying, "I'm not, sir," but I got the message that we are here in this country too much. Mr. President, what's a plan that we could come up with to get this country back on track? And I've actually said I'm going to run for president of my class. I think we're going to have a lot of new members. I'm going to say, hey guys, we all talked about cutting waste. We all talked about creating jobs and cutting taxes. Let's bring our ideas together and seize the moment, because I can tell you, as an American history teacher who's scoured the history books and gone through from the founding to this point, we're at a critical moment right here. Is this country going to keep going as the beacon of hope and freedom? Is it going to keep going as an economic superpower, or are we going to implode with some of these problems we have? This is a critical moment. We need new people. We need to aggressively tackle challenges. And what I'm telling people is, I'm not just going to be a vote down there. I'm going to be a leader from day one and say, hey, these are the ideas I've pushed. Let's try to find as many people together that can come together for some sound, common sense principles of fiscal restraint and cutting waste. When we do that, then we can start talking about tax cuts and other things.
I was out and about Binghamton,
sure,
local area, just getting a feel for what people are thinking about.
Right.
George Phillips, about Maurice Hinchey,
sure,
thinking about well, just the state of where they are with the politics right now. And in mentioning your name a couple of times, now I've literally had a couple of people who've told me that you're a Green candidate. I've had a couple of people tell me that you're a Tea Party candidate. I've had a bunch of people say that you're a Republican candidate. I've had them say a lot of things. And while not really negative,
sure,
depending on how some people feel about the Tea Party, or Green for that matter, what I'm wondering is, listening to what you're saying right now, you are sounding a little bit like a Green Party. As one very irate man started yelling at me about, you sound like a Glenn Beck, you know, which that's neither here nor there.
Right.
But the Tea Party he meant, and he was speaking about the Tea Party
sure,
as well. Return to values, the original Constitution. So I would ask then to you,
your response.
How do you respond to these different views about you? And directly I'll ask you, are you a Tea Party candidate? And by that, what does that mean to you if you are?
Let me go through the three. It's interesting. It's interesting that the Green Party, I care about the environment, and we could debate those issues, and they're obviously complex here. Natural gas drilling's big for our community. I hope we can go forward with it. We got to do it in an environmentally sound manner. We have environmental concerns on the horizon. We did have a booth at July Fest in downtown Binghamton, and someone from the Green Party was by our booth, and they were getting signatures for other candidates, so we let them come by. I don't know if that's some confusion that I was Green Party actually, but I'm not Green Party. I am on the Republican ticket, and what I'd say about this is I was down there as a congressional aide 2001 to 2005, and things that I'm upset about in Washington are not just Republican or Democrat. When Republicans were in the majority, they were doing those same tricks with special interests. We had backroom deals, we had other things going on. I'm on the Republican ticket, but believe me, I'm going to be an independent. I'm going to stand up to our leadership.